Hello and welcome to I'm Offended. I'm actually not offended, it's not even a joke, actually. I saw a video recently on Instagram, which is called a reel, there by Adam, not dude, and he made this short about 5 Hoyas that he is loving right now, and I thought, what a great idea. Then I saw that I wasn't tagged. Now, even though Adam did say that everyone who is reading the description is officially tagged, I will just say I'm offended. I am offended. Just how could you? How could you, Adam? You know what they would tell you in Serbia? Za srce si me ujeo, which is basically the equivalent, you bit my heart. It's very dramatic. It's also quite an image. There is also a song by the same title, which is performed by my childhood idol, and I'm very ashamed of my past. It's like very dramatic female singers in my... Well, actually, that's also true right now because I listen to Lana Del Rey, so not much has changed. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is 5 Hoyas that I am loving right now. One of these 5 Hoyas is in bloom, so I don't know if we should start with that one first or we should just pick something. You know what, we're gonna pick something else. We're not gonna show you the best because it's kind of like build up to that, and then we will declimatize. It's like the build up and then whatever. This is not a play. This is a YouTube video. No one cares. I'm also not gonna be saying anything positive about any of these plants today because every time I say something very positive about a plant in the video, about a Hoya, I swear in span of a week it dies. None of these will be getting any praise. But the first plant is Hoya medinellafolia, and I can say that it looks beautiful, like that doesn't impact anything. It looks beautiful, and this is why I love it. And in the past, I actually did not really like Hoyas with this type of growth. It's kind of horizontal, it sticks out. They take up a lot of space, but I do have to say there is something very special about Hoya medinellafolia. First of all, it makes beautiful flowers. My plant has 3 peduncles and they have not budded up, so I don't know what we are waiting. Rent isn't free in this household, but okay. So it's beautiful. Aside from the flowers, another thing that is very, very nice about this plant is how big those leaves are, and it just really has this elegance. I just adore it. I will try to do a close-up of the leaves, though I don't know if the focus will focus. But they're very, very beautiful. The new growth is slightly paler green, and then as they grow older, the leaves, they are darker. It has very, very interesting pattern, very interesting veining. It's a very, very thin-leaved Hoya. I would say thinner than Multiflora. It's really a very special kind of thin. This plant lives in my grow tent and it's planted only in pumice. I have been asked about care tips for this plant, but I'm just waiting for it to flower, and then when it does, I will absolutely make a video on that because I think this is one of the Hoyas that deserves it. So I'm not gonna divulge much into that, but I have to say this is one of my favorites. It's probably one of the plants that I check every single day just to see how it's doing. When I'm checking my plants, which is also not every single day, so that was a lie, but when I check the Hoyas, this is like one of those that I will check to see if it's doing okay. I also realized I'm quite far away from the camera, which is like not something that happens very often. The next plant is something that I absolutely adore, and we do have some dry vines that I need to trim, which I'm just seeing right now. So a bit of maintenance before I show you the plant. We cannot show up looking like this, come on. You were supposed to get ready for the video. This is Hoya tengchongensis, and I'm gonna try to show it to you. It actually has a full reservoir here, so I will probably spill everything and like make a mini flood, but that's okay. Hoya tengchongensis is a very, very beautiful Hoya that has this kind of a crawling slash, I think we would officially say, creeping habit. And it is a plant that has very small, very cute leaves, similar to Hoya serpens. And I was told that this actually may eventually end up being Hoya serpens. I don't really know. So far, it is a species of its own, and it's quite a recent species, I believe. Also, when I say recent, I mean in the past 10 years. but it's more recent than that too. It is generally a very easy Hoya to grow. Am I allowed to say that? Are you gonna... Don't act up. And I did feature this plant several times in my videos because Hoya serpens is quite a popular plant. I would say understandable, she is very cute, but I would just give a couple of more points to Hoya tengchongensis. The veins are more prominent, the leaves have splash. My Hoya serpens doesn't have any splash on it, but this one also seems to be a bit easier for me to grow. Now that actually may not be true because my Hoya serpens went through a problematic period, and it is the kind of a plant which if you do something wrong to it, it will take long to recover. You know, you have offended her and then she doesn't want to forgive you, so similar like me, I will just remember it forever. And I just never really had problems with Hoya tengchongensis. We just, you know, had a good start, so maybe that is why. But I was told by May April, which is something that makes sense, and it's something that I've been thinking about, but I didn't really have any confirmation because I haven't talked to other growers about it. But what seems to be true for Hoya serpens is that when it roots in several places because of its creeping habit, it seems to grow much better. And immediately when I got my Hoya tengchongensis, I laid it flat, I pinned it down in several places, and it rooted pretty quickly and it started to grow really well. You may say that this pot is quite big, but the reason why I chose this pot and my serpens is in a similar one because there is a lot of surface here that allows it to kind of root in several places. I think perhaps a pot that is not so deep but is kind of wide on top would work well for these types of Hoyas. But I also chose this one because it has a reservoir, and these plants, in my opinion, don't like to be dried out. I have noticed that they do just so much better if you keep them moist. In the past several weeks / months, I have been on a journey. And this journey, this is not sponsored by the way. This is starting like a sponsored segment, but no. This is a segment about Hoya carnosa. I've been on a journey to get as many clones of Hoya carnosa as possible. And some of those clones have been nicer than others. Some I like more, some I like less. And I'm not exactly sure what triggered this journey. I was not a carnosa lover, I was a carnosa hater in the past, but something changed. And I will just blame the influence of my friend Rachel on me because she is also a carnosa lover. But I am on a quest to get as many clones as possible, and I am in the double digits. You can probably expect a Hoya carnosa video where I will just show you all of the clones that I have. I'm actually working on turning the top of my Rodsta cabinet into like a curated display of Hoya carnosa. Well, it's clearly not done because I have prop boxes there because I did something that I said I wasn't gonna do this year, which is get more Hoyas, but that's something for the next video. Anyways, this is all a long intro to tell you that one of my favorite Hoyas is Hoya carnosa Juliana. It is so adorable. As you can see, it is very tiny. This leaf, wait, where is it? This one, that's not supposed to be that big, but it's supposed to be this dwarf form of Hoya carnosa, and so far it is. Some of those leaves have arrived a bit yellow, and well, they're not getting better with time, but the new growth looks absolutely great. It is a very, very slow grower so far, and I'm still waiting for that moment where it's gonna put out a vine. And I don't think we're close to that moment, but you know, she keeps growing, she keeps giving, and I keep checking on her. I believe this is a cultivar that comes from the United States, and I think it was created by the same person who created Hoya Chelsea. Though I don't really know much about this cultivar, but I think that Rachel, Colette Conroy, she's working on getting more background information on this Hoya. It is said that this is kind of similar to Hoya carnosa marlea, and I don't think that's actually true. One is inner variegated, one is outer variegated, so first of all that. And I just think they're two different cultivars, and I don't think that, I mean, I have no idea, but I don't know that marlea originated at the same place, though I could be wrong. It is a beautiful, beautiful carnosa, and I just had to include one carnosa in this video because I've been getting them pretty consistently. Maybe this should have been a top 5 carnosa video because I have been wondering about including another carnosa in here. I know that some people will say that it is ugly, but like, whatever. Take your opinion somewhere else. I just love it because it has these tiny leaves and they're kind of lacy. They have that frilly, is it frilly? Curly margin to them. And I cannot wait to see it grow more. I actually don't know if this one, like I have not seen a photo of it online in bloom. I'm sure that it does eventually, but I just think with this one, it is about the leaves primarily. And I think it will look cute once it fills out and once it becomes a super large plant, which will be this. But hey, space saving, that's good. The next Hoya is something that is actually in bloom, and that means we have reached that peak of the video, and then we have just one more Hoya. This one has changed the color since the last time. That is the first thing that I will tell you. And we actually do have 3 peduncles here, though this one is in a very inconvenient spot. Like, how could you bloom there? I don't understand. Why didn't you bloom here, or maybe another one? Like, I can't take a photo of this really well. And this plant was known under the name species SR 2017-012 frogfoot. Currently it is Hoya amrita, and I will just keep the accession number SR 2017-012. Right now I say amrita because it is said that this will become in the future Hoya platycalis. I don't know if it's going to be a subspecies of platycalis, or maybe this doesn't happen, but I do think that they are the same, and I have seen from many Hoya experts, I've seen comments that this is platycalis, which, you know, it's very interesting because platycalis has very long leaves, but if you look at the flower is pretty much identical aside from the coloration, but the coloration does not determine a species. Nor do the leaves. It is the flower and the shape of the flower and other characteristics. When it blooms, the color that you get at the beginning kind of starts to intensify over the period of time when it's in bloom. I can't remember how long it was in bloom for me last time, but I think it was well over 7 days. And it does have a smell. It's kind of like a refreshing, citrusy smell. The scent also becomes stronger from day 1 to day whatever it is that it is in bloom, and it's kind of like a citrusy smell. Now this time, when it opened, it's kind of yellowish and green. Now not all of the buds are open, and I don't really understand why. It has been informed that the video is being made. I think it's just very rude that it didn't open all of the buds, but okay. And I will just try to show you here. But I will also take photos and hopefully not break this peduncle. Maybe I should just take photos. Okay, you can kind of see there. So it has a red center still. That remains the same. Well, it's not super red, but yeah, it's a reddish center. And then the corolla is this sort of yellowy color. I'm interested to see how this will change over the course of next 7 days. Last time it also took several days to open, and Betsy told me that her plant, when it blooms, it doesn't fully open, which is strange because this is from the same plant. She sent me the cutting. So I think this is probably something related to conditions or maybe to watering, or I'm actually not really sure. The leaves don't also get super big. I think that platycalis, or the long-leaved clone, is what I would really like to get, and I think those leaves are very, very beautiful. These ones, they're nice, some nicer than others, some do get a bit yellowish, and I wonder if this is like a nutritional thing, but you can see they do look dark green with those veins, and these are the new ones. It is an easy Hoya for me. I'm not gonna say that because something might happen. Another thing that I noticed with this plant is it does seem to be kind of prone to dropping the buds. I don't really know why. Betsy never experienced this with her plant, again, which I don't understand. It's from the same plant, basically. But some other growers have experienced this. And I have kind of contributed that to moving it around, because every time I get really excited, I take it out from my cabinet where it lives to take a look how far along are the buds, and then the next day they fall off. So maybe it's not moving around because, again, Betsy told me she does move around her plant, but there must be a reason for them to fall off. So something to keep in mind, but other than that, a very beautiful plant, and it seems to me that it's making peduncles almost at every node. And this is the second time it has bloomed. And that's that on Hoya amrita, potentially platycollis in the future. The last plant today, I kind of didn't want to include this one. I was looking for something else, but I actually don't really know why I was looking for something else, because I truly adore this plant. I think I'm a bit frustrated that it hasn't even attempted to bloom, but we do need to trim some vines. Why is no one ready? Anyways, I'm kind of angry at this plant that it hasn't bloomed for anyone. By the way, see, I got my plant in July of 2022, and it was several nodes, and you can see how full this plant is. Actually, I think all of these plants are less than a year old, or just about a year old. I think this one actually might be the oldest. These kind of arrived at the same time. Chungensis, I think, is maybe the oldest, actually. This one arrived in March of 2022. And Juliana is the youngest. This one arrived late 2022. But I would say out of all of these plants here, this one is the best grower, because it grew like 50 times the size of the original cutting, and it just makes for such a beautiful pot. I really think we should actually forgive her for not blooming. I don't know if you agree, because she's so pretty. And this is species NS12323, famously known under the name microdwarf. And at one point it was thought this was a Nicholsonia, but that is no longer the case. And we're still waiting for this plant to bloom for everyone, so it can be determined exactly what species it is. But it has a very interesting growth pattern. It branches out like no other Hoya. And I would say this is the best Hoya in terms of growth. It is just so fast. People talk about fast Hoyas all the time, but you know, if we compare the size of the leaf to the size of the plant right now, I would say this one is the absolute winner. And it has these beautiful reddish leaves under higher light. The underside of the leaf, if I turn it around, maybe you'll be able to see. The underside also gets kind of red. And there is some nice veining on the leaf. It's truly a Hoya that I really, really love to see. I like to pick it up and to look at it. That's how this video is gonna end. I'm just gonna look at this plant and twirl it around. If you haven't seen it in person, I definitely recommend you to get one, especially if you like kind of this type of growth pattern. If you like peperomias, super, super, super easy. This one is like 50 million times easier than peperomias. If you like Hoyas with small leaves, this one really has it all. The small leaves, the color, the vein, everything is there except for the flower. If you're someone who doesn't like flowers, this is Hoya for you. If you're somehow on this channel by accident and you haven't exited by now and you absolutely hate flowering plants, this is the Hoya for you, because she ain't gonna do it. She is not doing it. That is really all I have to say about Hoya NS12323. Just, I would say, a must-have in any collection. I have seen some big specimens of this plant in Sweden. When I say big, I mean absolutely huge. They were like larger than life, and they also haven't bloomed. So we're just gonna keep waiting for this, I guess. It just may take some time for it, which is like, you know, 10 years, clearly not enough. Is it 10 years? It's been 11 years, hasn't it? Yeah, and it's 12. 11 years. Just wait. Yeah, that's reasonable to grow something for 11 years. All right, that is all for today. Kind of a short video, I think. I haven't edited this. And I don't know, I enjoy doing this because I think it's been a long time. When I started my YouTube channel, tags were not in style anymore, so I didn't really get to do any tags. I tried to start tags a couple of times, but that didn't really happen, so good job. So yeah, just for that reason, this was fun to do, and I think I have to tag other people now. Oh, I didn't think about this part. Not prepared. I want to tag Funny Tang, Wolfsgang Mama, and let's do one more. I'm just looking for another person to tag. There are so many people that I would like to tag, but let's say Wild Fern. So those are the 3 people that I'm tagging, and let me know what your favorite Hoyas are. Also, everyone, like in the comments, let me know 5 Hoyas that are absolutely your favorite at the moment. It was very difficult for me to just choose 5 because, You know, again, I love all of them, not equally, but some I really hate. We're not going to talk about that today. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to go now because I did not sleep at all because of these in the back. Very little sleep has been given or gotten. I will see you soon in the next video. Have a lovely weekend, and until then, goodbye! I would like to take some time to thank my patrons. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 3 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Anne-Margaret Moen, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Ann C., Ashley Hoyas, Becky Higgins, Beth Gibson, Betsy, Catherine Molina, Danube Daniels, Daria Kaminska, Deanne Sikorsky, Farah, Gina Geise, Go Green Tropical, Heather Uppingham, Hoji Scott, Hausman, Heather, Hoya Heather, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chio, Yavin Denot, Kara, Casey Gross, Callie Koo, Kelso, Kristen Sherwood, Leplan de Steph, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Mars B, Martina, Alif Perday, Marty Miller, Mary Rose, Melissa Walker, Michael Curley, Nicole Ferranti, Mirka Grun-Roos, Moa Edmond, Nayli Yang, Neha Basu, Nicole Moreau, Nicole and Caleb of Sleeve Tropicals, Nita Macy, PJ, Plan Druid, Rachel Peterson, Robin L. Jennings, Silo Medal, Sherry Kumar, Stephanie H2O, Sybil Williams, Tanya, Tessa Martins, The Swedish Hoya Dude, Tia B, TJWO, Wendy Foreman, Wendy Rossman, Youth of the Wallamuts, Zordarama, and Zlakov Niponi. Also, a big thank you to my $3 patrons: Angelina Farnan, Anna K, Brenda Little, Branda Phillips, Kilone, Christina Greengrass, Claudia L, Fluffy Blue Sheep, Jerry's Garden, Lisa Helling, Morgan Kennedy, Nella, Plan Druid, Plantalenia, Ringlov, and Tangwatanas Ria Cool. Also, thank you to my $1 patrons: Kari, Constance, Couture Helvetica, Emilia Bronson, Jacinta, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Lauren M, Lori Unsubramanium, Luzman Fernandez, Neely Spicer, and Olivia Chainmuller. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon.